AmandaLand, AmandaLand, AmandaLand.
Arm yourself with truth. Arm yourself with curiosity. Arm yourself with love. Arm yourself with community. Arm yourself with courage. Arm yourself with passion. Arm yourself with radical creativity. Save yourself. A new drop from AmandaLand Export. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I had a... It wasn't showing that it was upcoming? Really? Oh, that's why there's only 73 people in here. Interesting. Wow. What's going on with the YouTubes? YouTube is acting up. There's usually at least 350 people in here by now. And you couldn't find it? Fascinating. Because I definitely made the notification. I'd be missing some stuff, but I made that. You couldn't find it. It had the date of 3/10. Reminder along with the Monday one. Huh. I wonder why that is. Some people said they got the notification. Oh, I had Monday and Tuesday on the same date. Well, okay, got it. We've solved the mystery. But we're here. Folks are coming in. We're getting here. Welcome to Views from AmandaLand. You are waking up on the right side of history. This is your news and truths by any joke necessary. Some nights I'm trying to write the show and it's just like there's nothing coming to me. There's nothing, like, especially right now, because everything is the same every day. It's just the same. It's just new levels of devil every day. That's essentially what it is. It's just new levels of devil every single day. And I'm constantly trying to, figure out, like, how can I flip it? How can I make it more intriguing? How can I make it more funny? But there really is not much to be done. There really is not much to be done. I mean, the truth of the matter is that it's just a terrible time. It's just a terrible time. I made an error, and so now we only have 177 people here. Fabulous. Fabulous. And by the way, I thought I was being so on point. Like, I'm gonna organize these and I'm gonna post them early. I'm gonna put them up early so that I'm on point. No. Oh man, I've been watching Parks and Rec, and there's an episode where Ron is basically telling Amy Poehler's character, like, you're gonna have to quit. You're gonna have to go on, like, sabbatical, because you can't do everything at the same time. Like, you just can't. And she's like, no, Ron, I can handle it. I can handle it. And that's kind of what I feel like. I feel like, what's Leslie's character? What's her character? Leslie Knope. Yeah. Leslie Knope is like, I can handle it, Ron. That's how I feel. I'm like, I've got it. I've got it all together. It's like, no, that's why there's 200 people here. But we're getting there. The numbers are climbing. People are climbing in. And, they're they're figuring it out, because thankfully this is so much about thankfully this show has become a lot about a lot of people. This show has become a part of a lot of people's like morning routine. And that's been really neat to witness, that the show is becoming a part of people's morning routines in that way. And so they're just kind of like, I'm going to wait for it. She'll be here. She'll be here. And I appreciate that, because I am here. And so I was trying to figure out like what to write about today's show. Normally we have a guest on Tuesdays, but nobody was available that I reached out to. So it's just me today. And there really is just so much to talk about, to the point where I'm like, is this trickery? Is it trickery that y'all are bombarding us with so much? And it's also like so much that can't really be like done about. There's so much that cannot really be done about. So that's also been kind of odd, just to see that overwhelming amount of news. I mean, and I take in a lot of news a day, but I also feel like there's just an effort, because we are so accustomed to this 24-hour news cycle. It feels like there's an effort to just like make things news that aren't really news, right? Just trying to make things. Like I've been seeing now. Did you all hear about this? Did you all hear that there's a rumor that like Obama was dating Jennifer Aniston? What? Come on. Jennifer Aniston? What? I just don't know. No, but see, here's the thing, Megan. I don't even think that it's just they're overloading the media. I think the media is overloading itself. Like there's stuff that the media is just making into things. And I like that's an example of that, where they're like, there's a rumor that Barack Obama is dating Jennifer Aniston. And I'm just like, why would that even be a thing? Now, I believe the rumor, let me not say I believe. To me, there is more legitimacy in the rumor that Barack and Michelle are divorcing, because we ain't seen them together since the US Open in 2023. But immediately I said, okay, so y'all just trying to come up with stuff to do. Yes, I know Michelle has a new podcast. We'll talk about it tomorrow. One thing I'll tell you I'm tired of is new podcasts. I'll tell you that. Wow. And people be having new podcasts, but they ain't talking about nothing new. And I can say this as somebody who has had a podcast for 7 years. Okay? I have a podcast. Yeah, but did she say it back? Did she say Happy Valentine's Day back? I know he said it to her, but did she say Happy Valentine's Day back? Okay. Tatiana Taylor and Mufasa, I don't believe that for 2.2 seconds. But I know Tatiana, so I ain't going to talk about it. Okay? Because I also haven't said nothing to Tatiana. But I say all of that to say that, the PR stunts, the turning one sentence into whole headlines and articles. I mean, I've been the subject of that, actually. Like, I have literally been the subject of, we gonna make a whole article about something that didn't happen. They made an entire article and attempted to ruin my life based on a lie that I never told. Literally. I never, ever accused someone of sexually harassing me. This particular person. I did accuse Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons did sexually harass me. But because he absolutely said to me, hey, Amanda, did we ever F? This is while I was in a business meeting with him. And I said, no. And he said, oh, right, because I would remember if we did, right? Yes, he did say that. 1,000%. Then his assistant who had brought me there, well, not his assistant, I don't know what Hassan's real role is, but he's the one who brought me there. He then calls me that night to say, I just want to apologize on behalf of Russ. He was just joking, bada bing, bada boom. And I was like, nah, like that was wildly unacceptable and terrible. Then Russell Simmons has him sign an affidavit saying it didn't happen. I tell you, it's wild out here. But I had never said that a particular football player has sexually harassed me. And then someone wrote an entire article saying that I admitted to lying about the person sexually harassing me. So they said that I admitted to lying about something I never even said. And this has plagued me for literally 6 years. This has continued to go, where people are like, you owe that man an apology. Then that man went and did a press conference saying that I lied. That man went and did a press conference saying that I lied, even though I never accused him of sexually harassing me. Child. You don't have to. Oh, you were talking about Russell. Yeah, no, yeah. So I say all that to say that folks just be making up stories. And I even did a podcast interview with Van Lathan, who flipped on me in the middle of the podcast. But he invited me on to be able to get this cleared up and then flip the script on me, which is a whole other issue. But he's apologized since then, but I'll never get over it. Homeboy, who made the article lying, said that it wasn't a lot. He said that he made an editorial article. He said it was an op-ed. People, you cannot. I should have sued. Honestly, is what I should have done. I should have sued because it was defamation of character. You literally made an article accusing me of doing something that I didn't do without any record of me doing it in the article. Like, there's no video, there's no quote. He just said that I said it. And people were like, yeah, that makes sense. She said that. And then the guy was like, he did a press conference saying Amanda Seales is a woman scorned. I still have the texts where I deaded him. What are we talking about? Anywho, we were talking because I was waiting for people to come in. And here we are. So welcome to Views from AmandaLand. And this is your source for news and truths by any joke necessary. Can I do a segment about apologies? What do you mean? A segment about apologies? Because Russell Simmons has not been Harvey Weinstein, because Russell Simmons is in Bali. Russell Simmons moved to Bali, and Bali has no extradition. Yes. Bali has no extradition. Yeah. So I'm just like, yeah, but to this day, it's like, how can we discredit people? And there you go, Felicia. I was just about to tell her there's an episode of apologies. We did side effects of apologies, and side effects of atonement is another one. But I welcome everybody to the show, and I want to let you all know that you are waking up on the right side of history. We've got a lot of show today, just because there's just a lot of news and updates, and I really want to try and break, because I've been trying to figure out sometimes what happens when you have a show like this that's so connected to the news. You can get tripped into just reporting the news. And what we really want to do is expound upon, right? And give framework for the news, and really try to give a grounding sense of these individual news stories to the greater mycelium of things. How are these things rooted and connected to all of the things? Yes, Sandy, I made an error when I made the live and I put the wrong date, but thank you for making it here. Sandy is one of our trusted moderators, along with Rolando and Elijah. So thank you so much. So that's what I've been really having to remember when I'm writing the show. It's like, Amanda, your job is not here to just run down stories. Your job is here to contextualize. Girl, you got to contextualize. And so, yes, honey. So Inferno asked the question right here. Inferno at wait, where's Inferno? Good morning, Marquise. Inferno, you just posted something and I was about to put you on the screen. Oh, there you go. So Inferno asked right here, tell me that you saw the video of DT admitting to cheating the election to FIFA officials. And yes, I did. And I made a video about it. And I put it up on YouTube Shorts. Now, for those of you who may miss seeing my commentary from Instagram, I be doing YouTube Shorts all the time. And if you're, wanting to help support here at the page and you subscribe to the page, make sure you leave comments under the YouTube Shorts because that really does help push this page in the algorithm in a very real way. But I did make a video about it because it's just so egregious. These people have admitted to rigging the election so many times. It's unbelievable how many times. And the reality is that it's because they know that they can do whatever they want. Essentially, they can do whatever they want. Like they're not over here trying to figure out like how to dupe the American people anymore. No, they're just like, yeah, we did it. We're doing it. What's the issue? And America is like, okay. That's really what I feel like is going on far too often. America is just like, okay, no big deal. NBD. And it's upsetting. Is it upsetting to anybody else? It's upsetting to me. What's also upsetting to me is that StreamYard is not playing my video, and I don't know why. And that is a problem because we got a lot of videos to play today. So I'm going to need them to get it together.
So sad because I said, can you imagine I'm not going to be president? And that's too bad. And then what happened is they rigged the election and I became president. So that was a good thing. That was a good thing. That was quite an achievement for both of us. So I'll be president during the World Cup and during the Olympics, which we were.
Do you understand what we're talking about here? This is this man literally talking about how the election was rigged and now he gets to be president during the World Cup. And that he was basically telling them like, yeah, isn't that unfortunate that I'm not going to be president during the World Cup? And they were like, yeah, womp, womp, womp. And then he says they rigged the election. So now he's like, he said it so deliberately. He said it without any, by the way, he also said it without any level of like, oops. There was no oops. It was just, yeah. What's beef? There was no oops, y'all. That's not concerning to nobody. It should be. And let me tell you, this went right under the radar. These people did not do nothing. These media sites. No. This went very under the radar. This has not been like made like, oh my God, can you believe it? No. They just like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine, whatever. So that should tell you a lot about where we're at. That the media is so they're so and here's the other part of it too. It's like I just feel like I'm watching. Okay, tell me if you all agree with me. It be feeling like I'm watching the left media like kind of cosplay in the same way that Democrats do when it comes to Republicans. We already know that they do that with Israel. We already know that. But it also feels like they do that when it comes to the Republicans. Like it just feels like they're kind of calling it out. Like they always uphold a certain level of well, we're being objective. It feels like they're always upholding a certain level of regard and respect, even when they lie to their faces. It feels like there's this kind of protection of, well, they're the government, they're politicians, so we don't need to. And I don't know. I just feel like that's not helpful. And they don't, and I get it that in one sense, it's a matter of speaking directly to a person, but in another way, oh, hey, Nasra, but in another way, I feel like there's also when they're not there and you're keeping it up, it's like, how are we even going to keep this going? How are we going to keep, how do you keep this up? Like Trump is calling for Rachel Maddow to quit. And I'm like, okay, Rachel Maddow. I just think I think all of these news sources everyone should just be like, and we're out. We're out. Joy-Ann Reid was a part of that, though. Joy-Ann Reid and all of these people are included. Like, Joy-Ann Reid was not breaking form in terms of addressing Republicans. I don't think so. I mean, I think she addressed them the same way that other folks did, but I don't think that she was necessarily more, what's the word I'm looking for? Radical about it. I think like Ahmed Eldon has been the only one who's really broken the mold, and I'm actually surprised that he's still there. Like, he's been someone who I feel has been actually very ardent about, I can't really break the line. And they let go of Mehdi Hassan. But I also feel like, with Mehdi, I don't know if it was that, I don't know if the deal for Zateo may have even been present. I don't know. But Amon has definitely, I feel like, been somebody who was not playing around with, especially talking about Israel. Why do people stay with X, Rachel Porter? I think people just they just like certain social media places, and that's it. I just think that they just like certain media sites. I will say this as somebody who stayed at Instagram for a very long time, because I felt like Instagram was just where my people were. And I do know that so as referring to Amon, yes, he now has to share a show. I guess maybe that's like so that they can dilute his message, perhaps. I don't know. The hackers have gotten to X. We're going to get to that. So these are things that we're going to be discussing today. We're going to give you an update on Mahmoud Khalid. We're also going to talk about why everybody hate Elon Musk. We're going to talk about a climate change case that has really surprised me by how the Supreme Court ruled on it. We're going to talk about the Congo and their connection to the United States, as well as their new connection to the United States, by the way, as well as which companies felt it the most. Which companies felt it the most on the February 28th boycott? Which companies felt it the most with the February 28th boycott? We also have a How Black Do You Feel Today? Okay. And yeah, so that's what we're going to do. And I would love us to do our church announcements real quick. Remember, folks, if you are just joining us for the first time, thank you for waking up on the right side of history. Views for AmandaLand Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube, Amanda Seals TV. Please subscribe to the page. Let's get our subscriber count up. I also want to encourage you all to screen record portions of the show that you feel speak to you, and share them if you are on other platforms, or share them in your YouTube shorts, etc. That's how we can continue to spread the word. I think that this is an important show for people to watch, to get context for the way that the news is being given to them. And that was something I said earlier in the show that I realize is my role. Like, I'm here not to give you like a rundown of the news, but to give you context for the news in ways that may not interest you on other platforms, whether it be reading digital media or listening to other listening to other hosts. So, I think it's important that we let people know about this show. So if you like any part of the show and you feel like it speaks to you, comment in the comments after the live. Please comment in the comments after the live. But also, if you're really on some, like, I really want to help push this, then that's another way you can do it. You can screen record and post to your Blue Skies, post to your Instagram, post to your Twitch, whatever. Remember to please watch for 20 minutes and shout out to our replay gang. Let me tell y'all, replay gang be in the building. So shout out to our replay gang. I want to remind our replay gang that even though you may not be here to do Views from AmandaLand roll call live, please drop in the comments where you are replaying from so that we can add you to the Views from AmandaLand map. Yes, the Views from AmandaLand map is lit. All right, it is lit. Also, drop a seals in the chat. Drop a seal in the chat if you like what's going on. If you want to be even more supportive of the content that I'm creating and be in a more even exclusive community space, make sure you join the Seal Squad by becoming a member at patreon.com, Amanda Seals. Now, speaking of things that are going on with me, Amanda Seals, you can also be a part of what we have coming up. Okay, so I've got some things coming up that I am very excited about. We have SFB at the movies. SFB at the movies is gonna be joining y'all at the movies in Brooklyn at Nighthawk Cinema in Prospect Park to watch They Cloned Tyrone and to talk about comedy as a source for commentary as we continue to try and figure out ways to contextualize what is happening, to use our intellect, right? It's one thing to know what's happening. It's another thing to be able to see that and synthesize it into action, to synthesize it into understanding, to synthesize it into art, which is also action. And I want to talk about the way comedy is doing that. So we're going to use They Clone Tyrone as our first in this series of Smart, Funny, and Black at the movies. Get your tickets at nighthawkcinema.com. That's going down Thursday, March 20th at 8:45 p.m. in Brooklyn. Thursday, March 20th at 8:45 p.m. in Brooklyn. Also, if you have not checked out my exclusive interview on Patreon with Topher Shanks, please do so. You do not have to be a paid subscriber. You simply just need to sign up. That's right. You simply just need to sign up for Patreon, Amanda Seals, and you can watch my exclusive interview. And I say exclusive because if anybody recognizes this tracksuit, it is from an interview that I did in 2024 that went super viral and even got more views than the interview that person did with a certain candidate for president. And it really was a very frustrating and traumatic experience, if I'm being honest, in terms of, and I say trauma with a light heart, but in terms of like being within the Hollywood space. And so I treated myself to a redo. And the redo was with Topher Shanks, who, if you all haven't figured out, is myself, which is crazy. It's crazy when your safe space is literally you interviewing yourself. But I feel like the reason why it's an interesting interview is because not because I'm interviewing myself, but because I'm interviewing using questions that you guys submitted. And the questions that you guys submitted were so on point and so just like smart questions that you want people to ask, that you want interviewers to ask you. And oftentimes interviewers are asking you the same questions as everybody else.
Topher Shanks, join me to find out why Miss Seals will never live with a man again, how she feels about tanking the election, and Is she really neurodivergent?
In acting inauthentic in that moment, I really misrepresented the reality.
Join me for an exclusive Patreon-only episode of The Topher Shanks Show tete-a-tete interview.
So make sure you check that out. Also, please remember that AmandaLand Exports has our latest drop available right now. Our latest drop is available right now, and it is the Save Yourself drop. And I'm just really excited about it. I've been playing the ad. And this is related to, so sometimes people are like, well, what are these images about? Okay, so let me just tell you real quick. I keep seeing so many people saying that they feel disarmed. They feel like they don't know what to do. Me included. Like they feel like we are just without any power. And this image is really about knowing that you can save yourself. Like we have what is in us to help us, to save us. The cutlass or machete is a weapon. It's also used to cut a path through the bush. It's also used to cut off anything that attacks you, whether that be a snake or a vermin, etc. And so that's why this image is so strong for me, because it is holding those cutlass over your face, reminding you that you have your own weapons within you to do the same, to protect you, to cut a path, and to cut anything that is connected to you. And the reason why it's blue is because blue is the color of serenity. And the serenity is the thing that happens when you do that. When you cut your own path, when you feel like you can protect yourself, when you cut off people who are harming you, there is a serenity that comes. There's a peace that comes over you of like, I have it within me. I have it within me. And I originally had this item in during COVID because I found myself depressed, and I listened to Jessica Lanyato's Ghost of a Pod podcast, and she said, don't abandon yourself. And it literally got me up off of my couch because I was like languishing, and it was like, no, Amanda, don't abandon yourself. And so I created this image in that regard of don't abandon yourself. So you can get the pin, but you can also get the bonus bundle, which includes the pin. It includes the patch. It includes a jotter notepad. This notepad is so dope. I'm so proud of this notepad. And it includes a signed bookmark that has a affirmation on it that I wrote. And that affirmation is arm yourself with truth, arm yourself with curiosity, arm yourself with love, arm yourself with community, arm yourself with courage, arm yourself with passion, arm yourself with radical creativity. So that is available now at AmandaLandExports.com. And I hope that you will support. Of course, this is a one-woman business. It is something that I started to be able to share my art with you all. I know that some people really want it to operate like Amazon. They want to be able to get their items immediately. They want to know, where's my stuff? Where's my stuff? And I just ask that you regard that it is just me doing this. It is literally just me. And I like it that way. I don't want a whole staff. It is just me. So, please, I hope that you'll feel some support in doing that, some comfort in doing that, and tell me, yes, when the pop-up comes up that says, I understand this is not coming for 30 days and I still want it. So thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, Reagan Crothers. Let them know. It's a one-woman show. It's a one-woman show. It's a one-woman show. It's a one-woman show. Gregory, please cut it out with the all caps. You be always all caps it. I feel like you yelling at me. It's your intellectual property. I feel like you yelling at me. Please. And yes, I had to put the pop-up site. So from jump, you know. Thank you, grad student 722 for buying it first thing Monday morning. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you so much for supporting. I appreciate all of y'all. And they're cool collector's items too. And it's about to turn up. because the ideas I have for the next few are pretty kind of major. I'm really excited about them. So you're going to be excited too, I think. I think you're going to be excited. Let's get into our word. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's get into our word of the day. All right. Let's get into our word of the day. Now, I want to remind you all that I am now doing word of the day separately so that it can also, actually, you know what? I'm ahead of, wait. My bad. I almost forgot us to do the roll call. Hey, AmandaLanders here to learn. Come on, jump in the chat. Tell me where you from. Where are all my people joining us from today? I know y'all love to let me know where you from. Hey, AmandaLanders here to learn. Drop in and tell me where you from. Laurel's in San Diego. Andrew's coming from Walkerville. We got the Long Beach LBC in the building with Kashar. We got Queens, New York, Dallas, Fort Worth, New Jersey, El Bronx, Atlanta, Temple, Texas, Kansas City, Dee Land, South Carolina. We got St. Louis with Hamid, Seattle with the Velvet Crush. We got South Florida. We got Durham, North Carolina, Nashville, Atlanta, Columbia, South Carolina, aka South Kakalaki. We got Tallahassee, Houston, Texas, South Central LA. We've got Windsor, Canada. AmandaLanders here to learn. Drop in and tell me where you from. Hey, we got to add Windsor, Canada, y'all. We don't have Windsor, Canada. We also have Amara, who's in Peru. We got Mexico. We got University Place, Washington. We also got two Bed-Stuys in the building. Oh, gosh, we have a Trini in the building. Hey, AmandaLanders here to learn. Drop in and tell me where you from. We got Abbotsford, British Columbia. Canada is definitely rocking with views from AmandaLand. Okay. We got Newport Beach, California. Ivory is watching from Tokyo. Fancy schmancy. And jet lag. Shout out to you for taking that trip. Hey, AmandaLanders here to learn. Drop in and tell me where you from. We got the Netherlands in the building and Saudi Arabia. Okay, so we have to add to the map. Why did I put the map so far away? Okay. We're adding to the map, y'all. So we got Trinidad. We got Saudi Arabia. We got Windsor, Canada. All right, here we go. Where's Trinidad? Right here. The Trini people, them. Okay. I will replace these pins with bright pink ones. It's happening. Just give me a pause. Okay. Well, now we also said UAE. Okay. The UAE needs to stop funding what's going on in Congo. All right, the UAE, United Arab Emirates. Where are y'all at? You're over here. There we are, the United Arab Emirates. All right, and then we also said we have Saudi Arabia right here. We have the Netherlands right here. All right, and then who am I missing? Oh, Windsor, Canada. Okay, hold on. AmandaLanders here to learn. I don't even know where Windsor, Canada is, y'all. Where's Windsor, Canada? Is it in the east? Is it in the west? Is it in the center? Where's Windsor, Canada? Sudan? Sudan is not in the building. Sudan is in the building? No. Sudan is in the building? I didn't see that. Sudan? Are you from Sudan? Or are you in Sudan? Are you from Sudan? Or are you in Sudan? All right, we got. Okay. I might have said Peru. I want my pin. Okay, Windsor is by Detroit. Okay, right there. All right, let's get Peru in the building. Peru, bam. Just like that. Yo, this is pretty neato, right? This is pretty neato. Okay, we got South Africa in the building. We're in South Africa because we have a couple different people in South Africa. So we're in South Africa. And then Leah's like, Bridgeport, Connecticut. Am I missing anybody? We said Saudi Arabia. Did I put up Saudi Arabia? Okay. Am I missing anybody else? We got Peru. And we got Tokyo. Hold on. Let me put it exactly on Tokyo just in case we get Okinawa or Yokohama. There we go. Or Kyoto. The Hague. The Hague is in Switzerland? Where's The Hague again? Remind me, y'all. Where's The Hague again? There was Abu Dhabi. We had Abu Dhabi in here. We did not have Abu. Oh, we have Puerto Rico. Let me put Puerto Rico. Shoo-be-doo-be-doo-doo-doo. All right. Oh, The Hague is in the Netherlands. Okay, so we have the Netherlands in here. Abu Dhabi is the capital of UAE. I don't know why I brain farted on that. I did know that. I did know that. All right. We did it. Wepa! Puerto Rico. Oh, Spain. That was the one I forgot. All right. España. Look at us, y'all. That's pretty neato. And you know what I'm also going to do? I'm going to get an America one for the back so that we can really get busy. Okay? Oh, you know what I also saw in here? Dominica. Dominica is right next to Grenada. Hold on. AmandaLand here to learn. Drop in and tell me where you from. We are worldwide. AmandaLand here to learn. Drop it. Fiji? Hold up. Are you in Fiji or are you from Fiji? Because it's a difference, all right? Are you in Fiji or are you from Fiji? Please, y'all with the please call it United States and not America is very irritating. Please. I be trying my best to do all the things and y'all be picking on things like I'm 43 years old and I've been saying America because I'm an American for my whole life. So I don't need you to correct me every time. Please. Someone said, are you drinking Fiji water? DC doesn't have a pit. Turkey? Are you in Turkey? Or are you from Turkey? Because I feel... Put it where you at. Okay? Are you in Senegal? Or are you from Senegal? This is what I'm trying to say. This is where I want to say. AmandaLand is here to learn. Drop in and tell me where you're watching from. I need to say it more direct. All right. Laurel said, or are you a jive turkey? Facts. We got Australia again. Where's Australia? Where is Australia? We're in Australia. Okay, we've been doing this for too long. We here tomorrow. So tomorrow we will add more. You're at SUNY Purchase currently? Is that right? Where's my purchase degree is up there. Shout out to SUNY Purchase, Stinky Poor Choice. I appreciate you watching the show as my fellow SUNY Purchase alum. All right, y'all. Melbourne. Okay. See, she says she's from Fiji, but she in the U.S. See, that's what I'm like. I feel you. Nonetheless, okay, well, here's this. Do we feel like it should be... No, I think it's important to see people watching from where they're at. Okay, anyways, welcome There is no DC pin because it's just the United States of America. It's there. But when I do have a map of the country, I will make sure that we have a DC pin. Okay. Can we add an etymology to the word of the day? I mean, y'all, it's let me tell you about all the things that y'all just asked me to do in the last 5 minutes. Amanda, can you change how you refer to the United States and stop saying America and make sure that you say United States every single time? And if you miss it, we will correct you. Can you also add an etymology to the word of the day? Can we also make sure that DC has a pin? Can we make sure that DC has a pin? Amanda, can you also, there was something else y'all asked me to do. Like, oh, polls. Can you add polls? Can you add polls to the chat? I'm just like, listen, there's two versions of this show, right? So like, this is either a show where I sit up here and I just hang out and I just talk, or I put together a show and I actually give you like information and news in like a very deliberate way. And I just, that's really the difference. Because a lot of folks do sit on here and that's what they do. Like they are personalities and they kind of just talk about, yes, I actually can't pat my head and rub my stomach at the same time. And then I can pat my chest and rub, well, no, I don't think I can do that. Let me tell you, wait, I was on live. Someone said I was on live and they told me not to address someone with, hey. Well, I'm not a fan of hay neither. Hay is for horses. Okay. Hay is for horses. But that's really the difference. You know, there is kind of like that difference in content where some people are just kind of shooting off at the mouth and spitting their opinions. And then there's like fact-based commentary. And for me, I think it's more important to acknowledge, to like give more fact-based commentary. Yeah. So, you know, I know that people have like very strong feelings about everything. So like there's people in the chat that are now giving their strong feelings about, you know, saying America versus the United States. And I completely understand everything you're saying. I just don't want to be corrected every gosh darn time. That's what I'm saying. Okay? I don't want to be corrected every time. Because I do make an effort to say the United States, not America. You've seen me correct myself. So, you know, sometimes it's just like, let it rock. I love a beverage, y'all. I love a beverage. Okay? I really do. Cranberry. I'm back on cranberry juice as of late. And when I tell you, I missed it. I used to drink cranberry juice as a meal, same as apple juice. I will drink a tall glass of apple juice as a meal. Okay. Now, someone did ask, why does it matter America versus US? And the reasoning that people have for this is not completely unreasonable. It's because these are the United States of America. It's North America, it's Central America, it's South America. And so by calling the United States just America, it has a American exceptionalism about it that says that we are the focal point, even though we are a part of an entire portion of the Western Hemisphere that is America. And so it's an erasure of the entire other countries that are taking place. And it says that we are centering ourselves. So it has an imperialist, it has a colonialist inference to it. That being said, we are called Americans. Like there isn't another thing to call people from the United States. We're not called like United Statesians. You know, and there are states in Mexico. I just learned this recently. So there really is a kind of, that's where the difficulty comes in, because if you are from the United States, you call yourself an American. And so, of course, naturally, when you're talking, you'll be like, yeah, I'm from America because I'm an American, right? So like we don't have another name for us. And that I think also adds to it. You know, like in the Caribbean, we call it the States. We don't call it America. But then you have Fiddler on the Roof. I mean, then you have, sorry, not Fiddler on the Roof. You have a West Side Story. I want to live in America. So, you know, the United States has made an incredible effort at doing worldwide and global violence in both weaponry and psychologically. So there's that. Nonetheless, we really need another name. If we're not going to be Americans, then what are we called? And that's what I feel like is part of the thing. United Statesians? Statesians? Statesons? I'm a statesman? I'm a USan? I'm a USan. I'm a statesman? I'm a USan? I'm a United Statesian. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, USian, a Yank? I don't like that. Jamaicans just say everyone come from foreign. That is fact. But see, Jamaicans, okay, let's be fair real quick. There are Jamaicans who absolutely act like they are the only island in the Caribbean. There are Jamaicans who definitely be on some, well, we really are the Caribbean. The rest of y'all are just hanging out. Okay? I'm just saying. I know some Jamaicans just really look down on the other islands and act as if we don't have the same level of importance. I'm just saying. I definitely forgot to take the trash out. And I can hear the trash truck right now. Dang! All right. So, let's get into our word of the day. Let's get into our word of the day. Our word of the day is prescient. Prescient, having or knowing knowledge of events before they take place. Prescient. Prescient. Prescient is also the way you can pronounce it. Prescient. It's an adjective. Having or knowing knowledge of events before they take place. You know what would be great is if you all put the etymology of the word in the chat, and then I can read it. How about that? Make it interactive in that way. And now we have met the needs of the group as well as meeting my needs of not being able to do everything. So check it out. Look it up. Do people have any sentences where they're using the word prescient? Actually, this combines me and Laurel. Laurel said, Miss Seals had prescient feelings yesterday. Yes, yesterday I was having a psychic experience that said, do not go to the protest. Eve Story says, all water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpios always have prescient feelings and they are almost never wrong. So apparently this, along with like other stuff, apparently me being a Cancer, Virgo, along with other stuff in my chart, lines me up to be like foolproof with my gut. Like that has been told to me by astrologers. They're like, you have a foolproof gut. You need to be listening to your gut. And so I have become 100% obedient to my gut. And I did discuss this on my live last night. Yes, Angela, you did. You said that I would discuss being prescient in my live, knowing what street to walk down. But here's the thing. Street smarts is what I was talking about. And I was basically saying that when you have street smarts, you are able to deduce places of safety. Like when I am walking, if in a place that I don't know, I will try to make it my business to walk where there's as many people as possible, where there's as many lights as possible. But that's also like city smarts, I guess, right? I think that's also be city smarts. A Trini Dominican said, I went to a palm reader that claimed to be prescient. Scam! It was a scam. Dang. All right. Well, Lakeisha has some etymology for us. The history and etymology says that this is a Middle English from late Prescentia, from Latin prescient, presciens, present participle of prescire, to know beforehand. So pray meaning to know, shire meaning more at science. I don't know. Kishan adds, it is from the participle of preshire, which means to know beforehand. So there you go. So there is your etymology of prescient, okay? Elijah Joy says, prescience is knowing DC is about to be the first state in the new United States of Russia. Oh my God. That hurt my soul. That hurt my soul. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. We got Jan says, I'm very prescient, but I don't know if I like it yet. So I will tell you this. I really used to fight my gift. I used to fight it a lot. Tabitha Brown talks about this too. I used to fight my gift because it just felt annoying to be able to like know things. Because my prescientness is related to foreboding. I can see like bad or disruption or conflict before it happens. And I can definitely see that there's a problem about to arise. And so if I listen to it, I can avoid it. But I would be like, I don't want to listen, which I think was just me being petulant, not prescient. All right. Let's see if we got any more sentences. Well, Kashan gives us further etymology saying that the word entered the English language in the early 17th century, maintaining its original meaning of having foreknowledge and foresight. All right. Foreknowledge and foresight. So we love that. And I don't like the book, The Art of War, Elijah, because I think that it's actually the art of manipulation. And though I see its use, it very much is, this is how you can play the game. And I don't want to play the game. I want to disrupt it. So unless it's being used to disrupt the game, I feel like most of the time I see it being used as just how to engage in the game. And I don't really like that. I don't really like that. Jessica Thomas said, after decades of research, scientists are prescient of the fires, hurricanes, and other results of climate change. Yes, yes, yes. And let's get one last one. Joshua said, you don't need to be prescient that the election was rigged. All right. All right. Yes, actually, to answer your question, Eves, and I will play it later. And last but not least, let's see. After decades of research, no. Someone asked about the Topper Shanks name, and I'll explain it in a little bit. Look at this. Y'all stay trying to give me work. A book club would be fun. When am I reading books? When y'all who read fast, I commend you. Y'all should start an AmandaLanders book club, and I'll report what y'all do. And y'all should start an AmandaLanders book club, and you have someone who is the head of the club, and you come on, okay, and you give the update on the book club. We could do that. Y'all do a book club. Dang, I'm trying to write a book, okay. And yes, Allison, let y'all know we got the Passage Posse over there in the in the SEAL Squad. In the SEAL Squad. So y'all should definitely do that. Get together, figure out a way to link up and do that. Okay? Thank you, Kashan. The programming roster for Miss Seals is at capacity right now. I need that as a disclaimer when we start the show. We need a last sentence for prescient. We need a last sentence for prescient. Okay? Yes, I like where Rachel's going with this. Let's learn by grouping up and doing our own group project, and then you can present it here on the show. I would love that. Do a group project. Julie says, I would love an Amanda Landers book club. Okay. All right. Marquise, I'm not forgot you. It was 2 days ago. I have not forgot you. Okay, Lord Frankie the Cat. Where's Fatima with her essay question? Fatima, you be having the essay sentences, but Lord Frankie the Cat got it today. Google's prescient development of AI-powered weather prediction models branded as Weather Next aims to help industries like energy, logistics, and retail better prepare for extreme weather events. That is correct, but what I will tell you is actually happening is that this is an example, our first example of a really outward example of the quid pro quo that Donald Trump did with Google. We've been seeing really outward examples of the quid pro quo that Donald Trump has done with Elon Musk, especially as we're seeing that they're trying to bring Starlink in to replace the FAA. Okay. But now we're seeing that they are closing down buildings of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. And NOAA is what is responsible for reporting on weather systems that are happening all over the world. And many countries rely on NOAA, including Grenada. So when we see this lets us know, oh, here Google is now coming in and they're getting their quid pro quo, which we knew they were going to get, obviously, which is why they did things like switch the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America so quickly. This is this. This is that. Google's prescient development of AI-powered weather prediction models branded as Weather Next aims to help industries like energy, logistics, and retail better prepare for extreme weather events. Notice how nowhere in here does it aim to help people. Nowhere in here does it aim to help people. Okay? Furthermore, let me also add that the Weather Next, which is aimed to predict weather, is counterintuitive. Because the weather that is predicting is namely extreme weather caused by climate change. Climate change is caused by extreme depletion of by extreme use of fossil fuels, and we are continuously using minerals and resources that have limits. And we know that AI uses up an extremely excessive amount of water. So this right here is the Google quid pro quo government contract to privatize weather reporting. Okay? That's what this is. I gotta tell y'all, knowing so much is irritating these days. It's frustrating to be able to see so much before it happens and be able to do nothing about it. It's kind of messing with me a bit because it's not just about not being able to do nothing about it, but it's also about not being able to convince enough folks in order to do nothing about it, which is what I imagine the scientists, this is why so many scientists be losing their mind, because they're like, we've been telling y'all this. And I'm trying to figure out where the harmony exists, if at all, in this hyper awareness. I'm not sure where it exists, but this ability to be prescient about things, and not even necessarily because I'm like psychic, but just because I can put two things together, like put two and two things together. I mean, I am psychic, but also I can put two and two together. It's really kind of debilitating sometimes. It doesn't necessarily always serve in the best ways. Now, y'all be saying Cassandra. Cassandra was in Greek mythology. She was a Trojan priestess dedicated to the god Apollo and fated by him to utter true prophecies, but to never be believed. Amandra. Amandra. Well, that is the word prescient, y'all. So shout out to all my prescient folks. I feel you. I'm with you. I get it. Okay? We be seeing things coming down the road and we be like, it's coming down the road. And folks be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see anything. And then they get run over and you be like, I tried to tell you. And now, yeah, now you there doing CPR. Well, what I will say is this. I appreciate y'all who do appreciate my gifts, and many of you all in here share the same gifts, and we end up supporting each other and we end up elevating each other. And there is something very valuable to that. So thank you all so much for being on the right side of being prescient. All right. I love y'all for it. And it's time for us to get into Black Accurate News and talk about Mahmoud Khalid. So let's do it.
Black Accurate News. Politics. Black Accurate News. Pop culture. Black Accurate News. Sports. Black Accurate News. Justice.
So, for those who don't know, Mahmoud Khalid is a Palestinian protester who is from went to Columbia University and was a big part of the Columbia encampments. And he has been disappeared. As of yesterday, he was disappeared. But I want to provide you all with some updates on what is going on in relation to Mahmoud Khalid. But before I get to that, let me first also, well, actually, no, let's just get to that immediately. Okay. So there was there was a protest yesterday in New York City, and I was going to go to this protest. And then my sixth sense started burning crazy. And my sixth sense will tell me, do not do something. And in the past, I would just ignore it and things would happen. And it would be like, you could have listened to that and this could have been avoided. And the thing about it is also that I've come to understand that it's putting me on it. When I ignore my sixth sense, it puts me on a more difficult path. It's not to say that I will not continue on the path I'm on, but it puts me on a more difficult route to that. And sometimes that's necessary, but sometimes it's also like, is that really necessary? And as I get older, as my body has less ability to be resilient, as I have more things that I want to do for the people, I find that protecting myself ends up being necessary. So I ended up not going to the protest. Well, here's what happened at the protest. Okay, so here's the thing. I would have, if that happened in front of me, I would have been in it. I need y'all to know that. Like, one thing that bothers me is that we all be like, push. No, we need to be kettling them. And I do see them start trying to kettle the cops. And kettling is when you move in and you actually like compress them. And the cops be trying to kettle folks at protests, but we should be kettling the cops. Then they're also, the cops are dogpiling. And so we need to then be dogpiling the cops. Like, I don't think we have enough fearlessness yet. And so that's why this goes on, because we're afraid to get shot and we're afraid to get arrested. And I don't know that I'm afraid to get shot. And I think that's why this is why my sixth sense says don't go. I'm not really afraid of that. I'm also not afraid to get arrested. And so I think that's why my sixth sense is like, please stay home because you don't have enough fear. Because you will be there and you will absolutely end up in these situations. And I'm not. So I guess that's why I really honestly get that. I guess that's why my sixth sense is like, stay home because I don't have enough fear. I don't have enough fear. Andrew said in all caps, stay home, you fearless, wonderful being, Miss Seals. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I don't have enough fear because I really do believe that I am protected. Nasra. Now that I've met Nasra, when she puts stuff like this in the chat and I see how, and I know how proper Nasra is, it's just another level of funny. Nasra said, you with it. That's all. You with it. Yeah. I guess that's really what it is. But sometimes that's not the best thing to be, right? Like, if you think about it, like, sometimes you wish that some of our elders, our ancestors, that they were less with it because then maybe they still be here. But it's like, yeah, but them being with it is what had to happen. And it's just, yeah. What did Vanessa say that got y'all saying, I never thought of this? Hold on now. Let me find it. What if Vanessa says something that made people say, oh, I never thought of this. Okay, Vanessa said, it's not illegal to wear a shield. It's not illegal to wear spikes on your clothes. And we have to master de-arresting tactics. Yes. Now, I don't know if y'all have ever seen, okay, maybe y'all have never seen this, but the dogs, like little baby dogs, they be having coyote coats. Have y'all ever seen the coyote coats? Okay. I think we need to be getting these type of things made. These coyote coats be saving these dogs' lives. All right. I'm gonna put a picture of the coyote coat up here in 2.2 seconds. All right. They be saving these dogs' lives, these coyote coats. Because when the coyotes be trying to come and get the dogs, the little baby dogs, the coyote coat, the little spikes on the coyote coat make it impossible for the little baby dogs to be getting caught up by the coyotes. And so maybe we need to get coyote coats for the protests. Look at this coyote coat. Maybe that's what we need. We need some coyote coats. Sabra says, Black women are on protest hiatus. The 92% are prescient enough to know we are being targeted. Let the 60% who voted fix their own mess. Sabra, you in the wrong place with that. You in the wrong place with that. This is an ignorant comment. First of all, it has, let me just acknowledge this real quick. For the 11th time, for Sabra and anybody else. 1, the election was rigged. It has been stated 11 times. All right? If you didn't hear it the first time, maybe you wasn't here before, I'm going to play it for you again because I want you to hear it so that you can understand how nonsensical this statement is.
It was sad because I said, can you imagine I'm not going to be president? And that's too bad. And then what happened is they rigged the election and I became president. So that was a good thing.
Okay, so there's that. The election was rigged. So we're going to start there. So this idea that somebody could have saved this country by voting a certain way is completely nonsensical. It is rooted in falsehood. 2, the concept that you're basing your identity on voting numbers and you don't even know where those numbers came from is really questionable to me. These numbers, even if these numbers came from Gallup poll is run by U.S. ambassadors and former members of the corporatocracy. Those are not two groups that we can continue to be independent sources. Okay? So those two groups are the ones that are determining the poll numbers that come through the mainstream media. Again, the mainstream media, also not a reliable resource. So to place an identity on numbers given to you by unreliable resources, to me, is not really about anything truly honest. To then further place your identity on we did what we were supposed to do, while not understanding that along with what you were supposed to do, there was more than just voting. What you were supposed to do was also, if you were going to be staunchly for the protection of Black people, that meant also making it clear to other people how we can be in coalition. That requires compassion. That requires empathy. That requires knowledge. So if you're going to tell other people that they need to vote for you while shaming them and acting as if we are the only victims, that is simply just impractical. Black people, yes, we are victims in this nation of many things related to this Constitution, related to the continued purveyance of white mediocrity as supremacy. I can go on and on and on and on. You know who else are victims of this nation's imperialism? Trans people, Palestinians, Muslim people, Arab people, immigrants, the working class. Need I go on? And the number one, the Native Americans. So the real we did what we were supposed to do needed to include coalition building that Democrats weren't doing. And if your feeling was, well, they couldn't do it because, then that's when you were supposed to step in. And that's what I did. I said, well, if she can't do it and they can't do it because, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk to other people and see what their issues were. But you know what? While I was doing that, the Democrats were actively saying, we don't care about your issues. So then what am I supposed to do? Continue to convince people that they need to vote for people who don't care about them when there are other options to vote for? That makes no sense. And it's not in line with my integrity or my values. Now, I can understand Black people being on protest hiatus, which is spelled hiatus. I can understand Black people being on protest hiatus for the simple fact that if we are in the protest, we become the story, not the protest. If we are in the protest, they will 100% target us and we become the story distracting from the protest. They use us. We become a part of the quote unquote Antifa model and, oh, the Blacks are acting up again. They're so savage. That is what happens, and it derails from actually what needs to protest. That's 1. 2, Black people have continuously been out here making measures to make this country go in the direction it claimed that it wanted to go, and it hasn't happened. And so we're like, okay, then perhaps we need to switch up the efforts. I'm going to sit back and do this other thing while y'all put your bodies on the line because your bodies are the ones they actually respect because all lives matter, right? But if your perspective is, I'm not going to protest because those people voted for Trump, that is an absolutely erroneous standpoint to stand from. There are people who 100% are not Trump supporters that are also feeling the brunt. There are also people who are Trump supporters that also abandoned their own people. I don't think we understand the nuance within the immigrant community, that there are a whole bunch of immigrants who look at other immigrants as less than because they didn't come the way they did, which again is a part of this classist hierarchy. So when we support and we perpetuate these things under the guise of we're supporting ourselves because we're Black women, we are actually falling into the burning house that Dr. Martin Luther King talked about of U.S. immorality. We are mimicking it. When we're saying we're not going to march for Palestinians because Palestinians in America didn't vote for Kamala Harris, did you think you were marching just for Palestinians in America? Because we were marching for the end of a genocide. We're marching for our tax dollars to not be used for a genocide. If you're going to pay taxes, wouldn't you rather them go to you having universal health care versus Israel having it and you not having it? If that's what you need to be out there, then make that make sense. But if your reasoning for not going is because I'm not going to care about the Palestinian men, women, children, and non-binary people, disabled people that are being genocided, I'm not going to care about them because the Palestinians here didn't vote for the person enacting genocide, you sound incredibly immoral. You sound like you have lost touch with your soul and your humanity. And you also sound like Zionists who are 1,000% using collective punishment, who are 1,000% saying that for the actions of these small people, we're going to make all these people pay. So miss me with this. And when you say fix their own mess, please understand we are a part of this mess. All of us Black Americans here in this country who forgot that we were still being genocided, who have definitely treated having access to money and corporatocracy as advancement, who have treated being in political positions without expectation as some level of elevation, we are a part of this mess. We are a part of this mess. So miss me with this. And you're probably not even still here because you don't even want to hear the truth. But maybe you are. And if you are still here, I hope you've heard this truth because this is all of our problem. I'm going to take a brain break for a second. Okay. Okay. Y'all. Kenya's in the building! Jumbo! Jumbo, have I ever showed y'all my video on Kenya that I made when I was in 5th grade? I'm going to show y'all that video one day. I really just need to take some time to come up with some episodes. You know how teachers be having, some teachers be having like, lesson plans for like the day they don't know what to do. I need to have that. I need to make some lesson plans for like days when the news is just on some BS. And I just got it in my back pocket. Boom. Okay. Sean said, Miss Seals, you gather them like flyaways on a slick bun. Let me just say this. Let me add this though. All of that passion you hear from me is from a place of love. It's really that. It's from a place of, I want us to do better so we can do better. I want us to know better so we can do better. And I don't deliver it in a sweet, soft way, because it's not a sweet, soft problem. It's not a sweet, soft problem. We're talking about Mahmoud Khalid, okay? So we're talking about Mahmoud Khalid. And Sabra, if after I said all of that, you still got something to say other than thank you, Miss Seals, then you weren't listening. And that's really what it is. You weren't listening. You're here continuing to say things to feel correct and things that I've already addressed, because you want to feel legitimized. And what I said in my diatribe was there's nuance, okay? There is nuance. Your nuance is imperative. The nuance of why you are withholding your body from protest is imperative. The intention is imperative. Because our intention and our nuance is going to determine who our community is. And our community is going to determine what actions we end up involving ourselves in. Am I right? So we have to have clarity of intention. And if your intention is rooted in spite, then you are going down a dark path that is no better than your oppressor. I promise you. And I don't say that from a self-righteous place. And Sarah Gabrielle, she says, babes, that's in the past. We know that history. We know that Black women don't get much, if anything, back when they fight. But standing aside does nothing but make Black women vulnerable. And I think that there's something valuable in what this white lady is saying, in the sense that standing aside doesn't have to be doing nothing. And that's what I've been talking about, right? I've been talking about that. Like, standing aside does not mean doing nothing. And there have been many people who have said their version of standing aside is not doing nothing. So I'm not even suggesting that that's what you mean. But when people come in here throwing around numbers as identifiers, I don't like that. I don't like that. I think it's really imperative that we are clear about what is driving us. And as Not Alleged says, because Not Alleged always be having the knowledge, okay? Rain doesn't fall only on one roof. Y'all, it's 11:42. I haven't even done anything that I planned. We haven't talked about anything. I mean, we have, but oh my gosh. Do you all feel like you've been getting a good show at least? Because I would hate. Okay, so Sabra, you don't want to listen. And so I don't know. So I'm going to mute you so you can think about if you want to come back, because you just don't want to listen. And maybe you just need to go listen to what I said again, because you were in your feelings, or maybe you were just focused on responding instead of listening. So I'm putting you in timeout. You're not banned, but I'm putting you in timeout. Okay. So let's keep going. Now, the protest for Mahmoud Khalid, of course, the police were out there doing so much and always causing the violence that they claim that is happening. Every time they're there, they claim violence is happening, and they are the ones causing the violence. Nonetheless, here is an update from one of the organizers on what is actually happening at present with Mahmoud.
Just got news that a judge has temporarily blocked the Trump administration's order for deportation. And it's because they know that the millions of people across this country are gonna rise up if they continue these illegal actions that are stripping our rights. It's not because they're benevolent. It's not because they just handed us our rights one day and they decided, yeah, let's keep it going. It's because we fought for our rights.
So that is an update on what's going on with Mahmoud Khalid. I think it's really important that you listen to what she said in the first she said keyword temporarily, and also that this is not being done out of ethics. It's not like this was done because it was the right thing to do. It was done because people got loud. I want to remind you though, that this man be tweeting all the gosh darn time, and he, of course, did not let yesterday go by without adding his own 2 cents. So, Vice President Trump said, Vice President, because the president is Elon Musk. Following my previously signed executive order, ICE proudly apprehended and detained Mahmoud Khalid. Now, I'm going to talk through this while we're breaking this down. Mahmoud Khalid, by the way, they name him as a radical foreign pro-H group student. Now, 1, he has a green card. 2, saying that you are against the Israeli genocide and the continued commitment of your dollars at a university to weapons manufacturing is not pro-H group. That is not the same thing. And we should also add that this pro-H group, this whole thing about H group being terrorists, etc., is always contextualized without acknowledging the fact that these governments are also terrorists. Nonetheless, let's carry on. This is the first arrest of many to come. We know there are more students at Columbia and other universities across the country who have engaged in pro-terrorist, anti-Semitic, anti-American activity, and the Trump administration will not tolerate it. So let's break down what that is. Nothing that people have done in terms of creating encampments to encourage their schools to divest from the Israel lobby, to divest from weapons that are used to send to Israel, none of that is considered anti-Semitic. Now, if you are continuously attaching Judaism to your efforts at genocide, at apartheid, then of course there is going to be a conflation. But it is the response of your conflation, not one that people are making on their own. I will play a video from Peter Beinart that explains this further. When they say anti-American activity, there is literally nothing more American than protest. It is the First Amendment. It's a First Amendment right. Peaceful protest. These students were sitting on a lawn. They were dancing. They were singing. I went to the Columbia encampment. I spoke there. Everyone was chilling. There's nothing anti-American about this, but the attempt to make this considered anti-American is anti-American. And the effort to make protest an anti-American concept is one that is being accepted by Americans. When Americans here in this country are upset at climate activists preventing them from getting to work, when Americans in this country are upset at, Black Lives Matter activists saying that Black Lives Matter and make it about, well, my life matters too. Nothing about that said that your life doesn't matter. I mean, it literally should have just added 2 on the end, and would that have changed it? Black Lives Matter too? This is a continued effort that's been happening over the past 40 years to really desensitize Americans to protest. We see protests happening all over the world on a regular basis. On a regular basis. Let me tell you something. Over in Mexico, there was a trans woman who was attempted to be unalived. Okay? It was an attempted unaliving. And the police let the person go. The police let the person go who had attempted the unaliving. And the response was not to simply march. The response was something I'm going to show you right now. Okay? They were not playing around. They said, oh, this is how you want to treat us? This is what you gon' get. Activists from Mexican Southwest, I think it's SW, I'm not sure what SW means, Union stormed judicial building in Mexico City this week following the attempted unaliving of a trans woman after cops let the perp off. No justice, no peace. This is how we defend our comrades. Protest is happening all over the place. Americans are actually doing the most kindest, sweetest protests of all, right? Folks are literally just out here with signs and marching and saying, we're not okay with this. They're not marching to disrupt something at the end of the march. They're not saying we're going to do this thing. They're literally just, these are our bodies. These are our presence. We are out here. Okay? And yes, the Georgia protests have been going hardcore. Shout out to Mary Hart out there. Like, they're out there going ham consistently against these Democratic and cop supporters who are making a cop city in Atlanta. So when he says this, he is continuing the effort to make Americans turn against other Americans, because it's stating, it's trying to say that if you are protesting the government, that you are protesting America. That's what he's saying. That if you're protesting the government, you're protesting the United States. And so many people here are now identifying themselves in a way where you can't challenge. That's why it's so problematic for Black women to be identifying themselves as Democrats as a part of their identity. Because that's why when you challenge Democrats, they be like, oh, you're challenging me. No, I'm not. I'm challenging Democrats. You are a member of a party. Being a Democrat is not a personality trait. It is not a part of your ethnicity. It is not a part of your ancestry. Cut it out. He goes on to say, many are not students. They are paid agitators, while they are literally revoking the green card status of an actual student. We will find, apprehend, and deport these terrorist sympathizers from our country. By the way, they're not agitators. If they aren't students, they are former students, like myself, or members of the administration, or professors. Never to return again. If you support terrorism, including the slaughtering of innocent men, women, and children, your presence is contrary to our national and foreign policy interests, and you are not welcome here. People, the hypocrisy in this statement is one that I don't have to say, but I'm going to say. The United States is committed as a literal policy to slaughtering innocent men, women, and children for the sake of protection of the United States. That's part of the America First policy. That's part of what Kamala Harris means when she said, we will continue to be the most lethal military in the world. What do you think you get when you're lethal? The slaughtering of innocent men, women, and children. And of course, we know that that is the practice and literally the personality of Zionists. We expect every one of America's colleges and universities to comply. Now, I want to play a video for you from journalist Peter Beinart, who talks about why this man is coming for colleges and gives you a broader context. And I want to play this for you because sometimes it's not just enough for you to hear it from me. You need to hear it from somebody else who is a valid resource.
So we have this completely Orwellian situation in which a Trump administration, whose political base consists of the most anti-Semitic people in the country, right? And a president who, let's not forget, in the closing days of the 2016 campaign, ran almost certainly the most anti-Semitic ad ever run by a major party political candidate in modern American history, right? When he ran an ad showing pictures of Lloyd Blankfein, Janet Yellen, and George Soros, three high-profile Jews, and basically said they were responsible for wrecking the global economy and is miserating ordinary Americans, right? That president and that political coalition are now, we're supposed to believe that their assault on these universities is because they're so concerned about Jewish students, and they're so concerned about anti-Semitism. In fact, what they're doing is using Jews as a pretext for an attack on universities that they hate because these universities are outside of their control, and because these universities, as universities have been in America for a long time, are centers of progressive dissent against right-wing authoritarian and kind of more generally establishment or kind of capitalist politics, right? They're a set of entities that are outside of the control of the Republican Party, outside of the control of the Trump administration. And if you're trying to create an authoritarian state, you're going to crack down on all of the institutions inside the government and then beyond the government, like in the media, universities, et cetera, that are outside of your control. So you can centralize control, right? So you can destroy and cripple any institutions that might be areas that could breed resistance to your power.
This is it. So when we're looking at them coming after colleges, another thing is that colleges don't pay taxes. Universities don't pay taxes. Okay. Now that was Peter Beinart. Peter Beinart is Jewish. Okay. He's the editor at large of Jewish Currents. You can follow his Substack, Beinart Notebook. And he's the professor at Newmark School of Journalism at CUNY. He's also an MSNBC analyst, and he's an author and journalist. And he just did a really great interview with Ta-Nehisi Coates. And these universities need to be protecting their students. Yes, Marquise, we are nearing another American Revolution. I don't know how soon, but we are going in that direction because we are, as Americans, becoming, we are no longer citizens in our own country. We are now becoming the subjects. So remember during the American Revolution, how they were like, we're breaking from England because we don't want to be their subjects anymore. We don't want taxation without representation. We want to be able to rule ourselves without their monarchy. So we're going to rise up. Well, baby, that's what's being created right now. A monarchy. Yes, it is in many forms. It's an oligarchy. It's an autocracy. It's all, but that's what it is. Citizens, we don't have a democracy. We do not get to choose how our tax dollars are spent. We do not have representation. This government has literally nobody that has anything representing me. You know, when I was watching that Surrounded with Sam Cedar, and this woman was saying how, you know, it doesn't matter. Like someone was saying basically that how does someone said, how does DEI help the government function better? Now, of course, they're misrepresenting what DEI is, but on a basic level, representation helps the government function better because now you're able to have a greater understanding of the actual constituency that you're governing. There is nobody in the cabinet of the White House that represents what I am existing. There is nobody in a majority House of Congress that represents what I'm existing. No. The Democrats don't have the majority in the House or the Senate. And the people who do none of them represent what I'm existing. So there is no taxation or representation for someone like me. And I know that for the people that are there. And now you have cop cities that are being sprung up to literally suppress if a revolution attempts to happen. It's going to take a mutiny. It's going to take police officers and military officials saying, we're not going to take it. We're not going along with it. Yeah. I need y'all to know that I got up this morning and wrote an entire show. Okay? I want y'all to know this. I want to show y'all something. I wrote an entire show this morning. Okay? I'm going to show you how far we got in the show. This is how far we got in the show, y'all. Show open. Word of the day. Black Current News. That's how far we got in the show. That's how far we got in the show. Now, with all of that being said, you ask, how did we get here? How did we get here? And what not enough people want to point out is that the Democrats set us on this road. Biden administration said they can revoke visas of age group supporters. The Biden administration is who actively supported the attack on First Amendment rights of students at colleges. The Biden administration actively supported the attacks of First Amendment rights of people in the streets. This is not just some Trumpian era thing. This is the United States government. And this has continued. This didn't just start. It has continued. We love to say, oh, Biden was such a good man, et cetera, et cetera. He has always been a piece of work. He is a career politician. And you know what? He gets to live out his life right now. But there is a reality that we're not acknowledging. And the reason I keep bringing stuff like this up is because I want to dispel this false sense of if we just get these people out, it'll be fine. If we just stop this, it'll be fine. It was already starting. It was already starting. And many people didn't vote because they did not feel like they could. And something that I think we fail to acknowledge is that we are in a different era of mindfulness. We are in a different era of mental health awareness. We are in a different era of awakening. Part of this is our connecting our politics to our person. For a long time, that wasn't the case. People told you to keep your politics private. They convinced you to trust in the government. They convinced you that you were a citizen, even though you were consistently denied the same assets, the same aspects, the same rights as citizens. And so now, this is the first election that's taking place also with an entire generation of folks who have more knowledge about this government than we ever had. Also, who have more knowledge about their feelings than we've ever had. So one of the greatest missteps of the Democrats in this election was failing to recognize that people's feelings are now attached to everything they do, And if they feel like voting is going to make them feel bad, or voting for a particular person is going to make them feel bad, then they're not going to do it. It's called empathy. That's what it is. It's empathy. And the reality is that even with all of that, your vote didn't matter because this was a rigged election. And they've said it several times. Okay? They said it several times. I appreciate you all because the chat has been so lively today with so much conversation and elevation. Now see, don't forget the microbiome. I don't even know what the microbiome is. Now I got to look it up. Now I got to look up what the microbiome is because I don't know what the microbiome is. I don't know. But if you can't trust the numbers and the numbers are being used to turn you against each other, what are we doing? And there were no transgender mice. They were transgenic mice. They were transgenic mice. They were mice that were injected with different, they're basically injected with, I can't remember what they're injected with, but they're injected with that for the reason of creating medications that are more responsive, creating procedures, creating medicine that is more responsive, that makes humans more responsive. They were transgenic mice. So that's what that allotment of money that he was claiming was transgenic mice, not transgender mice. This is also the same person who said that we're sending money to Lesotho, as if anybody knows where that is. And his clothes, his golf line is made in Lesotho. Yes, his golf shirts are made in Lesotho. So Sabra has come back and said, Amanda, if knowledge is power, can we collectively come up with protest methods that don't help the ops? Julian Assange did. Apartheid did. Please, can we explore protests that don't start martial law? Yes, and we have been working on that, and that is actually a part of what I want to talk about tomorrow for our critical thinking segment. And I think that that is an incredibly important way to move forward. And I think that there's a place for all of us in this conversation. I also think that martial law, for what it's worth, will happen regardless. And we're going to need the same communities that we come together to form in order to do so. So I absolutely am down with that and completely welcome that. And thank you for bringing that to the conversation because it is imperative. 100. And you see the chat with you. Because that's the AmandaLanders. That's the AmandaLanders. We here. That's why we got to come up with protest vests. Who's going to make protest vests? Come on. Make protest vests. I'll buy it. I'll be the first one. I will make protest vests. And let me also say, because Cyber said that's why my 63-year-old butt is here and I can use a walker. Listen, I want you to know that I am honored that your 63-year-old self is here because we need elders. We need young folks. We need everybody because all of us have different wisdom. We have different experiences. And in order for us to be a community, we have to build bridges. not walls. You understand me? So I appreciate you coming back, and I appreciate you bringing this into the conversation, and you are a part of our barbecue. So we need you here. And we need you here also because you're 63 and you still care. A lot of folks is over it. They like, we don't need this, we done. But you still here. You still care. And that's incredible in itself. So thank you, Sabra. All right, y'all. Well, we got a lot to talk about tomorrow because we didn't get to it today. But that means that I don't have to write tomorrow's show. Yes. Excited is what I am. Also, we do have a guest for tomorrow, though. And so our guest for tomorrow, I'm excited to announce, is Blakely Neiman. Blakely Neiman is going to come on here. We're going to kiki and we're going to talk the things and keep it 100. And I'm looking forward to that. So shout out to everybody who joined us here for Views from AmandaLand. You know what it is. Your news and truths by any joke necessary. Again, want to remind you that you can check out my one-of-a-kind interview with Topher Shanks by subscribing to Patreon. Again, I want to remind you, you do not have to pay in order to see it. You can simply subscribe to Patreon at Amanda Seales. Patreon.com/Amanda Seales in order to gain access to this. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out on gems and you're missing out on jokes, which are my two favorite things. Want to remind you that it is also time. Hey! Before we get out of here, you know what it is. Show your love. Hey, show your love. Oh my goodness. Show your love. What's up, y'all? Show your love. I said, drop a super in the space, baby. Drop some in the cash app, baby. We got to see what it's like when we pause and step back and use our minds and understand community. See, Sabra came out the gate and it felt like hate, but then she came on back in and we begin again. Hey, yeah. Show your love at the barbecue, unless you're Muslim, and then we'll say yes. It'll be iftar happening later. Happy to see you there. So for those of you who want to know Topra's name is a combination of Tyra Banks, Oprah, and Iyanla Vanzant. T for Tyra, Oprah for Oprah, Shanks is Zant. Okay? And she embodies all of them. Okay? She embodies all of them. I don't think y'all remember that when Tyra Banks had Miley Cyrus on her show, Tyra Banks gave Miley Cyrus a birthday present for Miley's 16th birthday. And the gift that Tyra gave Miley Cyrus for her 16th birthday was a picture of Tyra Banks. Yo, she gave this child a picture of herself. She was like, this is a picture of me at 16 in Paris. Do you all understand how hilarious that is? I was a model, then an actress. Now I've got the Topher Shanks show. And her and Oprah would talk over every guest. Every time Oprah have a guest, the guest would be like, man, when I was stuck in that well for, 5 days and had to eat my toenails to survive, I just kept on thinking about my mama. And Oprah would be like, I too have toenails And I too have a mama, and I think as well. So I can relate to that. So, and then, Van Zandt, she just be talking like this. Not on my watch. So that's how we get all of them together. Topra Shanks. Yeah, Topra Shanks. Everybody, it's been a wild ride today. I didn't know what today's show was going to be. I didn't know. It's been a wild ride, and I still didn't do a PSA. But I've got one for you. How about that? I still have a PSA for you. Can you believe it? I still have more to say? Yes. Yes, I do.
AmandaLand.
PSA. I was watching the coup d'etat documentary. I talked about it yesterday, the soundtrack to a coup d'etat. And I saw somebody in my comments on YouTube yesterday say that the reason the Democrats were sitting there with paddles instead of standing up or creating more of a ruckus is because they have families. And they said, they had families and they have to protect their families. And, no one saw any of this coming up. And, no one saw any of this. Everyone's surprised and scared. And that couldn't have been a more ridiculous comment after I literally just watched a documentary where people stood on the line for their family. They stood and put themselves in the line of fire for their family. Patrice Lumumba had a family. Like, what? And this is the other part of it too. This idea that there was no telling that this was coming. Yes, there was. What are we talking about? There's a whole manual. There's a whole manual that knew this was coming. Okay? And I just find it really ridiculous that anyone would suggest that wasn't the case. Okay? It's just not, it's not true. And there were men and women involved in the Congo uprising as well. Andrea Blouin wasn't even from the Congo. She was from Guinea. There was a time where in order to gain public support, in order to gain the love of the people, you had to demonstrate that you would stand for the people, knowing that those who you're standing against want nothing to do with the livelihood and the wellness of the people. They will take them out. And so you had to stand against them with the same fervor that they stood against the people. And here in the United States of America, that has been whinnied out of our consciousness in the past 30 years. There is no reason that we should be looking at any of these black politicians with any even morsel of the aplomb that we have held for the black leaders that came before, that stood against these forces because they were standing for their people and for their families. I have yet to see any black politicians stand for the people and for their families with the fervor that these institutions stand against us. And until we do, we should not be blindly supporting them. Get out of here. If you need to be reminded of what it means to actually stand, then you need to go read up on the Panthers. Then you need to go read up on the SNCC. Then you need to go read up on SNCC. You need to go read up on what was going on in Africa with Kwame Nkrumah, with Thomas Sankara, with Amilcar Cabral, with Sekou Touré, with Patrice Lumumba. You haven't read enough or you haven't watched enough documentaries to know that there is more that you should be expecting from folks. And that the ones that you keep trying to shut down are the ones that are going to stand for you.
AmandaLand.
PSA. And that's all I got to say about that. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. It is time for our 30 seconds of stillness.
30 seconds of stillness.
Arm yourself with passion. Arm yourself with truth. Arm yourself with curiosity. Arm yourself with love. Arm yourself with community. Arm yourself with courage. Arm yourself with passion. Arm yourself with radical creativity. Save yourself. A new drop from AmandaLand Exports. I enjoyed laughing and learning with you. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And tell your friends. Also, listen to the podcast. It's available everywhere pods are casted. Listen ad-free by subscribing to Patreon Amanda Seals. Come on and join the Seals Squad. Views from AmandaLand. Live 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Wednesday, with content on Thursday and Friday at YouTube Amanda Seals TV.
Smart, funny, and